the virtue of repetition, satat abhyas. Why a disciple must come, in spite of learning all the techniques, must come again and again to the same master, the same place, and practice the same technique. Anusthan. It is very important. One lady came to me in America and she told me, "Oh, hello Guru, how are you?" and this and that. I said, "Oh, hello." It's a very fashionable lady and all. So she was smoking a long cigarette with a bottle of, a glass of champagne. And she said, "You know, I've traveled the world and I've been to all the gurus in the world." See, when you go to the world, they are good-hearted people. They don't mean it bad. They don't expect to be like you, because you know what is Guru Parampara, what is adab, what is respect, because your mothers have taught you. They have not been taught. So it's okay if they put their leg one on top of the other and they smoke and they talk to you. "Well, hello Guru, how are you?" It's fine. They feel everybody is equal. You know, like they think everybody is. It's a buddy culture. She said, "You know, I've been to all the gurus practically in the world. I've traveled the whole world and I've been to all the gurus." And then I told her, "And you've learnt nothing." Because you have spent your time going to the gurus and seeing what are their dress, where do they come from, what do they teach. You have been inquiring, but you have not cared to sit down and learn what they had to teach you. And this is your greatest shortcoming. Although you did it in innocence, you have failed yourself. You have failed yourself because you are not receptive. Till now, you had not heard. You had not heard the sound of the birds, and I tell you, silent and listen to the sounds, and suddenly you'll hear many sounds of birds. The sound was there from before, but our minds were not open to it. They were not receptive to it. In this case, of course, you were receptive to the Guru, but in her case, it was not receptive to the teachings of the Gurus. So I said, you have to open your mind. We have about 300 species of different birds here in the aviary of Sita Mai Kadara, Sita Mai. So the important factor is why you should not go hedge hopping from Guru to Guru and try to see what they have to teach. One day about 20 people came to me. So I said, "Yes, where are you from?" So they said, "We are from Avdut Baba, Shiv Yogi, he teaches in Bombay." And he said, "If you want to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. If you want to go anywhere, go to Guru Nath's ashram. He holds you in very high esteem. And he says, there's nothing else anywhere else. If at all you're going to learn, go take the darshan of the Mercury Shivling and sit at his feet and learn. Don't fidget and roam here and there." So he sent those people. He himself had come about 10-15 years back. He himself had taken darshan up there. That time the Shivling was not made, I think, or maybe it was. But what the Guru's advice and what I advise, wherever you go, suppose you are a Jewish person, then go to your synagogue and learn and meditate there. This is because ek sadhe so sab sadhe, sab sadhe sab jai. If you learn one, then that one learning gives you the links of all the other knowledges. That is very important. Because if you learn in the central channel, your central channel is the Wikipedia of all other branches of knowledge and nerves. The Wikipedia is within you yourself. You don't need to go out to other Wikipedias and correct what they have to say and put all your own stuff in. All is within you. All the knowledge of the world you need is within yourself. All the medicine that you need is within your own medicine box of the endocrine system of glands. And you have iodine and you have all these other things, and you have to awaken the healing within you. So the question is, what is the virtue of coming again and again to the same master, to the same place, and practice the same technique? When you come to the same place again and again, that place becomes for you a mandir. Mandir, the gate becomes for you the Swargadwar, and the Sthan becomes the mandir. And by your regular practice, you become your own Isht Devta. स्वर्गद्वार मंदिर और तुम खुद ही इष्ट हो इस मंदिर में बैठे हुए. You're sitting in the temple, you become the Ishta Devta. And then you feel that there is no difference between the divine and you. But if you keep changing your practice and keep changing the vibrations and go to different places, you cannot set. The first thing is that in order for the spiritual plant within you to grow, the spiritual kundalini to awaken, the spiritual plant to grow, you must not change your masters and your sthan.
You must not change the soil of the sthan.
You must not change the soil, that is the sthan. Right? And if you go to another place, the main soil, the spiritual soil which is given to you in your practice is the Shiva Shakti Anusandhan. In that spiritual soil, your Kundalini energy takes on a certain momentum, a certain pattern, and a certain vibration. If you practice another technique, that momentum, pattern, and vibration changes. Do you understand? I'm not saying go here and don't go there, go anywhere, but don't change the pattern and momentum. Then from there, if you go to another place, still the pattern and momentum changes of your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body, which is the movement of Kundalini up and down your spine. That is the creme de la creme of practicing the same technique at the same place under the Guru Kripa, the same master. Do you understand? So the technique which you practice is like the motor vehicle. It has the power, it has the energy, but it does not have the fuel of enlightenment. You may have the best car, Rolls Royce, Mercedes, but no petrol, you can't move. So you may have the best techniques. If you don't have Guru Kripa, then your car will not move towards the goal. Do you understand? Many people have Khechri Mudra, it is Siddh, the technique is perfected. Right? Ba Khechri lag lag kya lage, Guru Ghat, Amrit Ghat Guru Ganga na hoye. It says, Ba Khechri lag lag kya lage, Amrit Ghat Guru Ganga na hoye. If in the Amrit Ghat, in the top, in your third ventricle, that is the Amrit Ghat, if there is no Guru ki Ganga nahi hogi behti, so then you cannot be enlightened by Khechri Mudra. Guru Ghat, Amrit Ghat Guru Ganga na hoye, ba Khechri lag lag kya lage, Amrit Ghat Guru Ganga na hoye, ba saase khich khich kya khiche, Guru Pran jame na samoye. So it says, you may do the kriya perfectly, but if the Guru Kripa is not, Guru Kripa in the form of Pran is not assisting your Shwaso Pran, if Guru Chetana Pran is not assisting your Shwaso Pran, then your Kriya Yoga does not become successful. Therefore, Guru Kripa is the crux of it all. It is the creme de la creme, raison d'etre for success in Kriya Yoga. It is the Chetana of the Guru which makes your Pranapan Yajna, Shiva Shakti Anusandhan successful. Therefore, it is necessary for a place, the person and the practice to be the same, under the same Guru. The guidance of the Sadguru is always important. It is good if you practice your kriya techniques at home, anywhere in the world. But it is even better if you can come once in a month, once in 3 months, or once in 6 months, or once a year to the same master and rejuvenate, renew and rejuvenate your practice, so that his Chaitanya, the spark of his livingness, may enliven your sadhana and transform you, transform the matter in you to energy, to emotions, to devotion, to love, to wisdom, to divine consciousness. This is the alchemy of the total transformation, which is done by the soul Chaitanya, the light of the soul of the Sadguru. Is that clear? So this is the virtue of coming to the same place, practicing the same technique under the guidance of the same Sadguru. Om Namah Shivaya.
You also said something which says that Guru Sanidhya, being in the Sanidhya of the Guru, is Samadhi Saman. Guru Sanidhya Samadhi Samana, because when you come in the presence of the Master, his Shiva path, his no mind state takes over you.
Yes.
And once you get into that state in which he is, the decay of your body cells stops. So
Now in this case what happens, that the Sadguru here, you have to imagine him from the grossest state. The Sadguru is like a fountain. He is emitting, he is fountaining like a fountain sparks of light, and these sparks of light create a whole magnetic field within which you are drowned. You are soaked and absorbed like a rasgulla in the ras, right? So you will be like a rasgulla in the ras of the Guru, rasanand. But this depends on your mind. If your mind is open and absorbs it, then, so each to the degree of his attunement with the Guru, each to the degree of his attunement. So the Guru is always in a state of unmani avastha, state of samadhi. If you tune in with him, you will also become in a state of unmani avastha and samadhi. Some people will emotionally absorb him at the Sadguru at the emotional level. Some people will absorb the Sadguru at the mental level. Some people will absorb the Sadguru at the intuitional or sabikalpa samadhi level. Some will absorb the Guru at the nirvikalpa samadhi level, which is very rare but which can happen. And that's why the Guru says, come share my samadhi. That's why it is important to repeatedly come and again to the same Guru, because you can share his samadhi and your evolution is quickened by leaps and bounds. By thousands of years your evolution is, even if you don't like it, even if you are in a bad mood. Come with all your emotional luggage, come with all your stress, come with all your tension, and I will dissolve it. Even if I am not here, I am sitting here, I will always be there. This is the other important thing. This is called Shiva path. In the Shiva path it is said for you students, if any mind is you and consciousness is me, okay? Let's think that. If any mind of the disciple is attuned to an undifferentiated consciousness of the Master, if any mind is attuned to an undifferentiated consciousness, then that mind shall become that consciousness to the degree of its attunement with that consciousness. Got it? So you will become me to the extent of your atmasat with me. तादात्म हो जाना चाहिए, the attunement with me, तुम्हारी संवेदनशीलता, your empathy. This actually happens. If you try it now also, you'll feel the peace. You just have to relax. It's easier to relax like this. then like this, or like this. If this is a challenge, I'll see how the Guru can affect me. He's giving no transmission. Then of course, who's interested in giving you a transmission? You stick your left shoulder out and say, Chal Aja. It's not Chal Aja, ye Prabhu Deja. So some people do that in the West. They go and test you and they say, चल मैं देखता हूँ क्या करता है. अरे बेवकूफ आदमी, तुम खुद की नुकसान कर रहे हो, खुद का नुकसान कर रहे हो. कोई challenge थोड़ी है ये. It's not a challenge. It is, I am a server of humanity and I have come to serve you as a servant of humanity. Accept the service and transform yourself. Now the second thing, why even after the disciple has received all his 6 kriyas, or 36 kriyas now as the new age people say, the 6 kriyas after having been received, why you must still come to the same Sthan, to the same ashram and the same Sadguru. Even after you have received your techniques and are practicing them, the Sadguru still, by his spiritual vibrations, by his Kundalini Shaktipat, the energy transmitted from his Kundalini Shakti, he works on all your Shada chakras, on every chakra of your being. Within the chakras are lodged your DNA. He can transform your negative DNA. He can transform your negative system. He can eliminate your emotions which are suffering. The suffering of your emotions is eliminated by him. Your stress is relieved. That is what is done by sitting repeatedly in the presence of the Sadguru. Any questions? Yes.
How do you cope when there are a lot of distractions and when you sit for kriyas also constantly that stress is coming?
You can see when a person is stressed by their behavior. You see, when a person has more responsibilities, usually he is stressed because his mind has been tuned and geared. You know, his what has happened, if a fellow suddenly comes from fighting in the, like Maharana Uday Singh, if he's suddenly fighting in this, he also meditates. He suddenly comes after a battle and he sits here, you'll always see he'll be doing like this. Not that he's a bad meditator, he's good, but his parasympathetic nervous system, his alert systems have been geared so much, the adrenaline, fight-flight mechanism is so charged that it will take him 2 or 3 days to calm down, and on the 3rd day he'll be sitting like this. कि आखिर करने कराने वाला तो वही है, मुझे लग रहा था 2-3 दिन की मैं ही कर रहा था, फिर प्रभु ने बताया वहाँ शिवलिंग के पास कि भैया बेटा मैं कर रहा हूँ, तू एक निमित्त है. तो ये जब बताया तब मैं शांत हुआ. तूच करिता आणि करविता शरण तुला भगवंता. कितना अच्छा ये है गाना कि करता करविता तो तू है प्रभु. Ultimately, when I surrender, not when I do it from ego, when I surrender, you are the karta karvita. So ultimately the good job which is done, the ego sometimes has a satya ahamkar and it feels it is doing it, but it is the good Lord doing it. So when your body language is a little tense and you're fidgety, that means you have a lot of responsibility on you, something else is weighing on your mind. You know, the mind is so tricky. Something else is weighing. Many times it so happens, I'll tell you with me what happens. I go into my states of Samadhi, regularly I am dissolving in my highest Samadhi, but sometimes when I am in a mood, then I have not seen my grandchildren. So then suddenly, before I go into that, I am doing my kriya, and after kriya, before going to Paravastha, I say no. I get up, I go to the pastry store, then I buy all the cakes for my grandchildren. I must finish that. That's at the back of my head. Let me get it done with. And then you get the cakes or the pizzas, the cheese burst pizzas. You know, there's a new pizza which is cheese burst. I'm very high tech with this because I have grandchildren and they get order all these things. And some Italian people who get it ordered, like Alexandro orders it. Burst, and we are bursting with cheese. So then we have this, and we have the cakes and all, then we are shanti, shanti. Then in the evening I can go and meditate and do it. So when it happens with me, I am a grahasthi Sadguru. In a grahast, I have my responsibilities. All my sons and my grandsons know that as far as family life is concerned, vyavhar is concerned, I know nothing. I am a zero. They know it, but because of respect, they don't say it. Respect, the old man has mucked it up, he's messed it up there, he's gone to this house, he was supposed to come here. So many times misunderstanding with the grandchildren and this, and there's a huge, and the grandchildren are not bothered and I'm not bothered. The parents are bothered. Some protocol mess up or something. So ऐसे जान दो है भगवान प्रभु कितनी गलतियां कराएगा. You see, ultimately 2 दिन की जिंदगी है. We have to go in 2 days. Not you, huh? You are doing kriya yoga. You cannot go so easily unless you get darshan, because now you have hooked God with the practice of your kriya yoga. You have hooked the Sadguru. You are coming again and again. You are deserving something much more in the fundamental truth of life, which has nothing to do with the relative truth. No man is perfect enough in relativity to judge another man through a zigzag vision. Relativity's vision is all zigzag, and unless you are perfect, you cannot be a judge over another person. Do you understand? The zigzag vision of relativity does not allow you to be a judge over another person. No man, until he is perfect, can judge another man. God is the only judge. His dispensation comes through the law of karma. Finished. He is the perfect judge. What he has dispensed through the law of retribution, the karmic law. अरे पेड़ बोए बबूल के तो आम कहाँ से आए, वो देख लेंगे. बबूल के पेड़ बो के भी आम आ सकते हैं. यदि आप क्रिया योग करें तो ये कैसे हो सकता है? गुरुनाथ ये क्या कह रहे हैं आप? You are going against the fundamental philosophy, the great sages and the masters, the great philosophy of Sankhya Yoga, who says only something can come out of something, nothing cannot come out of something cannot come out of nothing. But God is God. He can make something come out of nothing. That's why God is God. That's why He can do the impossible. That He doesn't do it to keep His own law and order is a different question. But don't limit His impossibility. Don't limit the uniqueness of the Lord God. Have full faith. Nothing is impossible for Him. And we who are attached to Him by a single thread of breath, Shiva, we will also be saved in His love and His compassion. But for that, you must have only one string. Don't start pulling many strings. All of them will break. Make it stronger and stronger and stronger, and then climb up. As the string, as the spider's web becomes into a thicker rope, you can climb your way right to the top and meet your divine Lord. So that is the virtue of repetition, the virtue of repeated coming to the same Sadguru, the same sadhana and the same sthan. Sadguru, sadhana और स्थान ये एक होना चाहिए. सदगुरु साधना जो उसने दी है और स्थान जो उसका है, वो एक ही होने पे आपका मोक्ष निश्चित है. ओम नमः शिवाय.